Hey guys, welcome back to another box opening and examination of the Commander decks from 2020. We are looking this time round at Gavi Warden, who is the Queen of Cycling. So let's dig in and have a gander at this. Being defeated by cardboard. There we go. I won't give up my day job just yet. So let's get the oversized foil out. Whoop. So Gavi's pretty cool. You may pay 0 rather than pay the cycling cost of the first card you cycle each turn. That's each turn. So in a 4-player Commander game, that's 4 free cyclings all the way around the table. And whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 2/2 red and white dinosaur cat creature token. So you can make a small army, or in many cases, an absolutely enormous army. So you've got our spin down life counter as usual, a random piece of cardboard. I have literally no idea. So we'll open this up, we'll have a look at what they've got in, then we'll do some quick examinations of what we can take out and what we can put in. Again, I'm just grabbing stuff from my collection of cards. Open up. Always get defeated by these plasticated wrappings. There we go. Finally. Okay. So we got our Gavi. Here she is. And here's another of the commanders. Let's have a look at the commanders actually. Here we go. Whoop. Akim Soaring Wind. A 3/4 flyer for 5. Whenever you create one or more tokens for the first time, get a free white bird creature token. Then pay a whopping 6. Creature tokens gain double strike until end of a turn. And then we got a fun pairing. So we've got Brelin, the Sky Shark Radar. Hint, hint, there should be a shark somewhere that he's riding on. Yes, he partners with the Sky Shark. Whenever you discard a card, put a 1/1 counter on Brelin. So he gets huge and he deals 1 damage to each opponent. Pay 1, target shark gains trample. Which shark, you ask? This shark. Shabriz, the Sky Shark. 5 mana, 3/3 flyer. And whenever you draw a card, put 1/1 counter on him and gain a life. And pay white or blue, target human gains flying. So they're quite a fun pair. Not sure whether they will belong in the deck. So let's just briefly have a look at the tokens before we move on to the rest of the cards in the set. So we've got our Drake token, presumably. Oh wow, that's a very cool 8/8 Kraken. That's some funky artwork there. I do believe these are double-sided. Yeah, insects, soldiers, all the double-sided tokens here. Elemental token. Some cool angel artwork. Yeah, really do like the artwork on these precon tokens. Birds, many birds. An elemental? Is that an elemental goat? That is an elemental goat. Wow. And let's get rid of that. What's on the other side? Human dinosaur. Look at that. That's a very cute token. Wow. Dinosaur cats. All the dinosaur cats. Okay. Tokens are excellent. Very impressed with those. So let's look quickly through the cards. Yoink. Cryptic Trilobite. Now as we go through, we'll do some removals from the deck as well. This one really doesn't synergize at all. It's a cool card in some combo decks. It enters with X 1/1 counters on it. Remove a 1/1 counter. Add 2 colorless. Spend this mana only to activate abilities. Well, this goes amazingly in 1/1 counter decks. You know, Gav, the whatever he's called, the Fungus Lord, whatever his name is. Pretty good in him, but doesn't obviously belong here. Now this is an insane card for you who haven't seen it before. Dismantling Wave. A 3 mana for each opponent. Destroy a target enchantment or artifact that they control. So that's 3 artifacts and enchantments you can nuke, or you can cycle it for a whopping 8 mana and nuke all artifacts and enchantments. However, with Gavi, this costs 0. So for 0, you can blow up all artifacts and enchantments. Absolutely ridiculous. This is a fantastic card as well. Flying 6/6 for 8. But when it enters the battlefield, you can return any number of target permanent cards with cycling abilities from your graveyard to the battlefield, which is just huge. That's a lot of cards. Anyway, moving on. Crystalline Resonance. This is cool. This is an enchantment that whenever you cycle a card, you can have it become a copy of another target permanent. So that could copy a land, that could copy someone's commander, that could copy, I don't know, almost anything. It's ridiculous. It's cool. And of course, this is until your next turn. So you copy a big dumb creature, just cycle 1 card, and it's that until the next turn, unless you cycle another and change it. It's just really, really cool card. I love this card. Plus the art is just weird and cool. Ethereal Forager. It's cool. It's probably not the strongest. It's got a bit of delve on it. And whenever it attacks, you can return instant or sorcery card exiled with it. So you delve away an instant or sorcery. And whenever you attack, you can return one of those to your hand. Yeah, it's a bit on the slow side. We have better. Okay, this card's broken. A 3 mana instant counter target non-creature spell. But wait, if you control your commander, this costs nothing. Right. Okay, power creep, but cool. An Agitator Ant. Put a 2/1/1 counters on a creature. Oh wow, each player may put 2/1/1 counters on a creature they control. Okay, at the beginning of your end step. So everyone's creatures get huge, and every creature that gets huge gets goaded, and so your opponents are whacking each other. This is an ant that's just stinging everybody and making everyone attack. It doesn't work in this deck at all, but it's a cool card. Go in some deck somewhere. A goad deck perhaps. The Spellpire Phoenix, a 5 mana 4/2 flyer, and you can return an instant or sorcery card with a cycling ability from your graveyard to hand when it TBs. And at the beginning of the end step, if you cycle 2 or more cards, return it from your graveyard to your hand. That's debatable whether that should stay in or not. It looks cool. But Surly Badger Soul. This card's amazing. So whenever you discard a creature card, put a 1/1 counter on him. When you discard a land card, create a treasure token. Whenever you discard a non-creature, non-land card, this creature fights something. This is an incredibly cool card, especially in this deck. You're discarding cards all the time, so huge amounts of value out of this very angry, spiky dinosaur. Chroma's Vengeance, say no more, blow up everything, cycling for 3, Astral Drift. Oh, this is an amazing card. Flicker something whenever you cycle a card. I mean, other opponent's creature, your own creature, protect your stuff, prevent their stuff from attacking. Just good. Decree of Justice, you can cycle this for free with Gavi and pay X for soldiers. That's just solid in her deck. Descend upon the Sinful, it's a good removal spell. I don't know if it's too synergistic with the deck, but it's still a good card. Eternal Dragon. This is a flying 5/5, but it's quite expensive to return it from your graveyard to your hand, even if it does have cycling, so that we can cut that out. Hoof Prince of the Stag. We don't need this, but it's fun. It's fun, but not good. Whenever you draw a card, put a Hoofprint counter on it. Remove 4 Hoofprint counters to create a flying token. We've got faster methods of creating tokens than that. Sun Titan is just solid. You can get back all the stuff that we cycled. Creator of Mysteries cycles for 1, and whenever you cycle or discard another card, scry 1. Not bad for a 4 mana 4/4 flyer. Drake Haven, whenever you cycle or discard a card, pay 1 and create a Drake, which is lots of more Drake creatures. New Perspective, and this is a key piece. 6 mana enchantment that as long as you have 7 or more cards in hand, you may pay 0 rather than pay cycling costs. So you get this out and you can just cycle your entire deck almost. Nimble Instructionalist, cycle to counter an activated or triggered ability. Excellent stuff. Portal Mage, got Flash. You can reselect which players or planeswalkers target attacking creature attacking. You can get rid of him, he doesn't really function. Goes into Wizard deck perhaps. Chandra Flamecaller. Oh, hello, my wife's just walked in. Hello, wifey. Wave to the wifey. Ah, good old Chandra Flamecaller. She was one of my original planeswalkers I had way back in the day. 6 mana for a angry Chandra who creates elementals. Again, cool card. I'm not sure it belongs here. I have an elemental deck it will probably end up going into. Tectonic Reformation is amazing. All your lands have cycling. All the lands have cycling for 1 red. And it cycles. Speria, love the art on this card. Just so cool. The Supreme Judge, a 6/4 Sphinx. Gives you cards for people attacking you, but again, doesn't belong here. Mercurial Chemister, draw cards. But you are a bit slow. We want faster cards. Our good friend Niv-Mizzet the Firemind. Whenever you draw a card, Niv-Mizzet the Firemind is 1 damage to any target. Now, he's not bad. It's debatable whether we take him out. This text could be quite relevant. Dealing 1 damage to everybody whenever you draw a card, because we are cycling and drawing a lot of cards. So potentially staying in. The Locust God, this is obviously insane value. Whenever you draw a card, create a locust. Ugh. Well, it's a red insect creature, but it's a locust. And then you can draw a card and discard a card. And if it dies, yeah, it comes back. Gotta love the gods. Bannered Sarcophagus, you can play cycling cards from your graveyard. I just love the theme on that. It's just cool. Fluctuator's nuts. Cycling abilities cost 2 less to activate. We can see where that one's going. Psychosis Crawler to deal damage whenever you draw cards. And onto the lands. So we got an Exotic Orchard, which is good. Hostile Desert doesn't massively work. You exile a card, land card from your graveyard, and it becomes a creature. But I don't really want to be exiling my cycled cards. I could potentially get them back. So we'll take you out. Irrigated Farmland, good. I like their fact they printed some decent rares. Shivan Reef, all good. Clyde Expanse, Ash Barrens, basic land cycling, that's a great ability. Now, the old bounce lands. I think we can get rid of those. I've never liked the bounce lands. I'm sure there's some other cycling lands that we can easily put in. Is it Borderworks? We can get rid of that too. Lonely Sandbar. So a nice lot of cycling cards in here. Hugh, Reliquary Tower, very good. No maximum hand size, that could be extremely relevant. Lots of cycling, lots and lots of cycling lands. That's going. Temple of the False God is always bad. And now I think we're on to some artifacts. Bonder's Ornament, as we know, not a great card. Can go. Arcane Signet, lots of the good stuff here. Good. That's good because it has cycling. The Rorgrim Crystal, love the art. And then Valiant Rescuer. This is excellent payoff. Whenever you cycle another card, create a soldier. And it has cycling. It has everything. Boon of the Wishgiver. Draw 4. Sorcery speed. Boo. Except it has cycling 1. So, yeah, not too bad. Neutralize. Counter target spell. But it's a terrible cost. Yes, but it has cycling. So it's not that bad. That's staying in. Ominous Seas. This is cool. Whenever you draw a card, put a Foreshadow counter on this. Remove 8 Foreshadow counters. Create an 8/8 Kraken. And they gave us the token for it, which is awesome. And it has cycling. So good. Reconnaissance Mission. Whenever a creature you control deals damage to a player, you may draw a card. And it has cycling. So much cycling. It's beautiful. Rooting Murloc. No, not sure this needs to stay in. You can return a target card with cycling from your graveyard. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card on ETB. Yes, we got better, probably. Oh, and this can go. 2 mana, 3/2 that when you cycle, you can pay 2. Come on, I don't need to pay mana. I can do things more cheaply. Zenith Flare. This can just outright kill someone. It deals X damage to any target, and you gain X life, where X is the number of cards with a cycling ability in your graveyard. Basically my deck. So if you've cycled 20 cards, 20 damage to the face, or yikes. This cycle of enchantments can go. Don't need to comment about them, really. Let's move you all off to the side. Cast Out is solid. It's got cycling for 1, and it's kind of like a not as great Oblivion Ring. Well, it's kind of good. It's a slightly more expensive Oblivion Ring that has flash, so it's not bad. Don't think we need this. Whenever a player discards a card, pay 1. Don't want to pay 1 for my tokens. I want to get my tokens for free. So let's toss you off to the side there. Hieroglyphic Illumination. Draw 2. Woo, let's get focused. Draw 2. Cycling for 1. Again, the cycling is what tips this over the edge. Vizier of Tumbling Sands. Untap another target permanent. If you cycle him, you untap a target permanent. Again, could be very relevant. Untap something. Windfall. A lot of people have been taking this out of the deck, and I have no idea why, because it's just a good card. Each player discards their hand, then draws cards. I mean, just good. It's just good. Lightning Rift. I like this. Whenever a player cycles a card, pay 1. Yes, we do have to pay 1, but it deals 2 damage to any target. So that could be extremely relevant. Slice and dice, 4 damage to each creature. It's expensive wrath. Cycling for 3. When you cycle it, you may have it deal 1 damage to each creature. Not overly keen. Might be taking that one out. Probably taking it out indeed. Migratory Route. Create 4 white-bird creature tokens with flying. Again, quite slow, basic land cycling. So I don't think we need that. So there's a number of bits and pieces we took out. We'll just do a little count of what we removed. And then we'll see what we can slot in. So lands, we took out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lands. And then we took out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 cards. So, actually, we can also take out Akim the Soaring Wind, because he doesn't really work. So it's 18 cards removed. And honestly, I don't know whether to take these out or not. You probably could keep them in. They are quite costly to get out and get moving. Let's get them in focus. So Shubra has 5 mana for a 3/3. You are going to draw a lot of cards. These do work in the deck, but they may or may not stay in. So potentially 19 cards gone. So let's see what we can add in. So let's start off with some of these lands that we took out. A simple addition. Well, simple if you can afford it. Or if you drew it from the latest set. This is the Ikoria Tri-Land. It has cycling and it taps for any of the 3 colors. By the way, the art on these is exquisite. That beach, I just want to go there. Anyway, moving on. Tap lands are always good. Or not tap lands, the scry lands. So sure, jam a Temple of Enlightenment in there or something. And then let's see what other potential cycling cards that we might have. So they've already got a ton of cyclers in there, so we could just potentially add something like a Blasted Landscape. Yes, it's colorless, but it taps immediately, and it's got cycling too, so we could put that in as well. And now we've thought about lands. We can always fill up with some more basic lands or some other dual lands or something like that. You could put an Inspiring Vantage in or something like that. Let's have a look at some other cost reduction cards. So from the latest set also, we have this bad boy, Zerda the Dawnwaker. And the companion thing is not relevant, but this thing is relevant, this text. Abilities you activate that aren't mana abilities cost 2 less to activate. So that includes cycling. So that means cycling will basically cost only 1 if this guy is out. And Gavi reduces the other cost to 0, so the first one you cycle. So you'll easily be cycling tons of cards. And the last text, target creature can't block this turn, could be relevant. So that's a great card. What about other payoffs? Here's some other payoffs. This is Drana's Stinger. Whenever you cycle another card, Drana's Stinger deals 1 damage to each opponent. It just ping everybody to death. You could kill people very quickly with this. And it's each opponent, cycling for 1. Another very cheap payoff, 1 mana, 1/1. Terrible, but when you cycle another card, put a 1/1 counter on it. Yep, it's going to get huge very quickly. So that's a fun card. Some more cycling payoffs. So, we've got this guy already in the deck. We don't need him. This is a cool enchantment. 2 mana. Improbable Alliance. Ooh, look at that. Focus going out of focus. There we go. Improbable Alliance. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a blue fairy creature token with flying. You don't really need the second half of the text. Draw a card, then discard a card for 6. Pointless with Gavi out and all the other cycling. You can easily get an army of fairies with this. We've already got that in the deck. This is one of my favorite cards. This is so silly. We need to put a Shark Typhoon in here for 2 reasons. 1, it has cycling. And when you cycle it, you create an XX blue shark. So you can cycle it, create a shark. But it's more fun to cast non-creature spells and create sharks. So we want this in the deck. Hugely so. And then, what to do with all these tokens? Well, one thing we could do is we could put an Aven Wind Guide in from Amonkhet. 4 mana, 2/3 with flying and vigilance. And creature tokens have flying and vigilance. So now your army can just decimate everybody from the air and stay tapped for blocking. So very, very powerful. And you can embalm it, so bring out your graveyard if you need to. So that's some cool payoffs. There's some other cool payoffs as well, some other really awesome stuff. Escape Protocol, this is again from Ikoria. A 2-mana enchantment that basically is Astral Drift, except you have to pay 1. Whenever you cycle a card, you pay 1. When you do, exile target artifact or creature you control. So you can reset your artifacts. You can reset your Soul Ring. And then that means your Soul Ring can tap for 2 again. And then you can cycle another card and reset your Soul Ring. And you could basically infinitely do this through your entire deck. Just resetting. If you could keep drawing cyclers. Very cool. And then, I love this card. Unpredictable Cyclone. 5-mana enchantment. Got a lot of text, but in a nutshell, if you cycle a card, you go through your deck till you find another card that shares a card type with it and cast it for free. Except land, of course. So you cycle an enchantment, you go through till you cast an enchantment. You cycle a creature, you go through till you cast a creature. I love this card. It is extremely cool and unpredictable, as it says, but just gives you pure value for cycling. Okay, what about a bit of removal and other things like that? Let's get some removal spells. How about a cheap counter spell? Censor, cycles for 1, counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. Could be good. This can get some stuff back. This is not removal, but this can get other things back. Return 2 cycling cards from your graveyard to your hand. We've got a massive lay claim. You can lay claim to this. Enchant permanent, you control enchanted permanent, or if it's too expensive at the time, cycle it away and maybe bring it out with that crazy creature that brings all permanents back that have cycling. Let's cycle Forsake the Worldly, or use it to exile target artifact or enchantment. And then, as a board wipe, we got Sweltering Suns. Sweltering Suns deals 3 damage to each creature, or you can cycle it away. And then, we mentioned all the flickering that we can do with things like Escape Protocol, got Astral Drift, or Astral Slide, or whatever it is in the deck, Astral Drift. So with all that flickering, there is a potential to flicker things like Peregrine Drake. 5 mana, 2/3, but when it enters the battlefield, untap up to 5 lands. You probably see where this is going. You can create a stupid amount of mana and cycle away and all the way through your deck. We got Cloud Blazer, which when it enters the battlefield, gain 2 life, draw 2 cards. You can constantly flicker this. And potentially also we got a Wall of Omens, which when it enters the battlefield, draw a card. So you could put these in if you wanted to, if you felt like it. What about some mad sort of, not quite finishers, but how about this? How about Riel the Everwise? 3 mana, 0/3, but she gets +1 for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. We're going to have a lot of those. But whenever you discard 1 or more cards for the first time each turn, draw that many cards. So you cycle a card and draw 2 cards. And then on the next person's turn, you cycle a card and draw 2 cards. It's a lot of card advantage. And I love this for the flavor. Yidaro, the Wandering Monster. A 7 mana 8/8 with Trample and Haste. It's a dinosaur turtle. It looks cool. It has cycling for 2. And if you've cycled it 4 times, well, you get it for free. So normally you shuffle it back in your library if you cycle it. But if you cycled it 4 times, I mean, that's not really going to happen much in Commander. But once or twice, it just might. And that will be so absolutely hilarious to get an 8/8 Trampler for free just because you're cycling. Even better if you're cycling for 0. And for our last finisher, because we can put Approach of the Second Sun in. 7 mana enchantment that says if you've cast it for the second time in this game, you win the game. Well, when we've cast it the first time, we have to put it in the 7th card in our library. So we have to kind of not quite shuffle it away, but we have to put it in our library 7 cards away. So people have 7 card draws to kill us. But if we're cycling, quite often they don't. You could play this, and if you have enough mana, which is possible in Commander very easily, you could cycle for 0, cycle all the way through, cast this a second time, win the game. So we've got a ton of additions for the cards that we took out, and hopefully this gives you a flavor of the deck, and maybe if you want to build it yourself, you've got some ideas of what you could put in to spice it up even more. So next time we'll take a look at another one of the decks and pimp that one up as well. Until then, adios.